certain records in baseball, Cal Ripken's record won't be broken. Well, let me bring in Bob Costas to ask him about that. By the way, Bob, congratulations last night.
Hello, loser.
Thank you, Bob.
That wasn't gracious of me, was it, Dan?
Well, you know what? If you win, you can say whatever you want. But you know what? One of these days, when I get up there and I win that sucker, I may just take a flamethrower at everybody and just start firing away. So just want to let you know.
Dan, I've been listening to you since you came on the air, lamenting this whole situation. And really, Dan, if there was anything I could do, I mean, even to the point of hopping in a car and making the hour-and-a-half drive to Connecticut and just trying to console you personally, if I could do that, I would do that, Dan. And you know what? What the hell? Why don't I just do that, Dan? Why don't I just do that? Where is he?
Well, he's on the other side of the glass. Whose cell phone is this? Here, take the kid's cell phone.
Look at this.
You took me through the wrong door.
Look at this.
Oh, here's the door.
Wow. A house call, and he brought in his sports Emmy.
Dan,
Bob.
here's your best supporting anchor, Emmy. Right here. Now, I think maybe I should get over here so I can be heard. It looks, Dan, as if in their haste, the Academy has misspelled your name. I believe they think you're like Jason Patrick. Yeah, and by the way, you were wonderful as Jim Bowie in the remake of The Alamo.
Thank you.
Tremendous.
Thank you.
There you are, Dan.
Oh, that is. I'd like to thank the Danettes for making this possible. The true inspiration behind this. The mothership for kicking me to the curb to make it easier to make this transition. My kids, my wife, and Bob for just loaning me this. That's very nice of him. Bob Costas joining us in studio. Bob, that's right up there. That was an Emmy Award-winning presentation by you. And I'm shocked that you're here. This is a great surprise here. Now I feel a lot better, and I feel a little disappointed with the way I overreacted this morning.
Dan, you know, from the years we spent together in the studio before they sent me out on the road, you know that anything before noon is a tremendous sacrifice for me. Now, I was at both the MLB party and the NBC post party last night.
Yeah.
Got to bed about 2. Had to roll out of bed about 7:30 to get in the car and head to a little lovely, charming town in Connecticut I've never set foot in until today. But it was worth it.
You're a giver.
I'm all of that.
Nobody gives back to the community quite like you do. I am speechless. Thank you. It's very nice of you to do that. Wait, do I actually get to keep this?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, that was just for TV. Damn it. You got, Bob, come on. You got 22 of them. Come on. I mean.
Dan, it's yours.
All right, thank you.
It's yours.
All right. Because, I mean, so what? You're on record as having 22. So what if I just have one here on that I keep for you, like safekeeping?
I think that's a great idea.
Great. I mean, you know what I'll do?
You can have it inscribed any way you want.
I'm going to take this one. Oh, it's battened down there. But yeah, my Emmys were Cougars. I wanted somebody a little bit younger, so thank you.
That one's freshly minted.
That's Leighton Meester or somebody like that. It was a great night last night, and I said this. The first award was the studio show for a College Game Day one. Mm-hmm. So we had to sit then until the very end for the studio host, which Bob won. But in between, you got to see a lot of great people who have been. I mean, the impact that they've had on this business. We'll never see this era again in TV sports. The way it is with what you've done and what Al has done, even Chris Collinsworth as an analyst, with the Sables, with what they've done at NFL Films, Vince Scully, Jim Nantz was up there. I mean, it's really a remarkable run in TV.
No matter how talented someone may be, they're just not going to get the opportunities to be associated with that many big events because things eventually are going to become too fractionalized. So guys like Al Michaels or Jim Nantz, they're great, but they've also been positioned to do those events, and the world is changing.
Build me the ideal sportscaster.
Well, I think you'd have to start with Vin Scully's eloquence, spontaneous eloquence. You'd combine it with, although Vin is obsessively prepared as well. I mean, Vin's probably a 10 on a 10 scale in every respect. But Al Michaels' adult-like passion. You know, he's able to be excited without being bombastic or over the top. You listen to a lot of guys, no names mentioned, and their only gear when something wonderful happens is to yell louder, and eventually they sound like the guy at the end of the bar. That's a very difficult line to walk, and the great ones can walk it. So I'd say that you'd do that. You'd put Al's capacity to do that and to prepare in such detail. Jim wouldn't be the only one, but the versatility of Jim Nantz.
Yeah.
When a guy can do the Masters, the Super Bowl, the Masters, the Final Four in just the space of a few months, the dry wit of the late, great Jack Buck, or Marv Albert has a similar quality. You know, Marv is so droll. Never cracks a smile. I mean, just as dry as parched wood, you know. But some of that stuff is fantastic. You know, I'm leaving other people out. It reminds me with Marv, I keep a list that I haven't updated much lately, but the 5 greatest Marv utterances. 1, I asked him to detail the Albert broadcasting dynasty, and he's, yes, very proud of young Kenny and brother Al doing the Pacers. And I said, well, what about Steve? And he says, you know, of late, Steve has been traveling the nation as a puppeteer. Where did that come from? He's on Letterman one time, and Dave is running down all of his broadcast partners. Sal Red Light Messina. I think he was doing football with Bob Trumpy then. And then he says, and of course, the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, to which Marv says, yes, not the sort of physician you'd want at the bedside of a loved one. Now, if you or I say that, not bad. Marv, you know, his intonation, the whole thing, it's just, it's like euchre. You know, complete deadpan thing.
But you're right about that when you listen to certain guys, the way they do it, and we take it for granted, which I guess is a compliment to them because we've just grown with them when we listen to them. I do appreciate you stopping by. Can I keep the Emmy?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I want you to keep it. When I tune in, I want to see it. I want it in the frame at all times.
What do you think of the studio here in the final 30 seconds, the Man Cave?
This is tremendous.
Yeah.
If I ever do a show,
yeah,
I want my own place sort of like this.
This is a lot of work, though.
Yeah.
It's every day. You don't want to work
That's
every
why
day.
I said if with a capital I and F.
The most decorated sports host in history. No one will. That's a record nobody's going to approach. 22 sports Emmys.